Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari 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 Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram,
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram,
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai,
Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada,
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse number 6. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena chanagha. The meaning of this verse is, O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode develop knowledge, but they become conditioned by the concept of happiness. So Srila Prabhupada explains this particular verse. Krishna has already said that material nature consists of 3 gunas, and he is going to describe each of these gunas. First, he explains what is Sattva Guna, or the mode of goodness. In Sattva Guna, the effect of developing this mode of goodness is that one becomes wiser than the others who are conditioned by other modes. A person in the mode of goodness is not too much affected by material miseries. Therefore, he is relatively happier than the others. And also, a person in the mode of goodness has a sense of advancement in material knowledge. Now, among the different types of people in the society, it is described that the Brahmana is situated in the mode of goodness. Now, nobody can be 100% in goodness or 100% passion or 100% ignorance. That's not possible. Always be a mixture. But one of the gunas can be dominating, can be predominant in the behavior or characteristic of the person. So here, when it is said Brahmana is situated in the mode of goodness, it means goodness dominates in his personality, in his character. Now, the sense of happiness for a person in the mode of goodness is because in this mode of goodness, one is more or less free from sinful reactions. Actually, mode of goodness helps a person to become free from sinful reactions. Prakashakam anamayam. Prakashakam means it is illuminating. It helps a person become knowledgeable. What kind of knowledge? Material knowledge. And anamaya means it frees one from sinful reactions of the past. Generally, a person in the mode of goodness acts in a pious way, will not act sinfully, because of knowledge and also because of the pious nature, which is possible because of being in the mode of goodness. So in the Vedic literature also, it is explained, the mode of goodness means greater knowledge and a greater sense of happiness. Now, already Krishna has explained in the previous verse, that all the 3 gunas are binding the soul to this material world through this material body. So how does the mode of goodness bind one? There are 2 ways in which the mode of goodness binds one. Sukha sangena badnati, jnana sangena chanagha. Sukha sanga and jnana sanga. One is that a person in mode of goodness thinks that he is very advanced in knowledge compared to others. And therefore he thinks, I am better than others. In this way, he becomes conditioned. Actually, whether somebody is in goodness or passion or ignorance, everyone is bound up in this material world. The simple way of understanding that everyone is bound up, everybody has got a material body. So this material body itself is binding us. It is limiting us in so many ways. If you remember in the second chapter, it is clearly described the body is matter and we are spirit. So spirit means it's got wonderful qualities, wonderful characteristics. Matter is just the opposite. So therefore, this mode of goodness also is binding. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse number 7. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tan nibadnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. The meaning of this verse is, the mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, one is bound to material fruitive activities. So here it's explained, the mode of passion is characterized by the attraction between man and woman. Woman has attraction for man and man has attraction for woman. This is called mode of passion. And when the mode of passion increases, one develops the hankering for material enjoyment. I want to enjoy in different ways. Basically, one wants to enjoy the senses, sense enjoyment, sense gratification. So, in the mode of passion, a person wants some honor in the society, or he wants to have a nice, happy family, nice children, nice wife, nice house, nice car. So these are all products of the mode of passion. And if one has a hankering for all this, one has to work very hard. Therefore, it is clearly stated that one becomes associated with working hard and trying to be successful in the work to get some results, and by such results he wants to enjoy materially. So therefore, the scriptures say this mode of passion binds one through such activities which are meant for getting some favorable result with which one tries to enjoy. Now, a person ordinarily in this world, in order to satisfy his wife, children, and society, he has to work very, very hard. So, therefore, the modern civilization is more or less situated in the mode of passion. And formerly, the advanced situation was considered to be those situated in mode of goodness. But now, people are not interested in the mode of goodness. Most people are interested only in the mode of passion. So in the mode of passion, one wants to work hard and one wants guarantee of success and keeps on working, hoping for ultimate success with which to enjoy material sense gratification. Now, because of this desire to work and enjoy the fruits oneself, one person in the mode of passion definitely becomes entangled in the work itself, fully entangled in the work. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse number 8. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabhis tannibadnati bharata. The meaning of this verse is, O son of Bharata, the mode of ignorance causes the delusion of all living entities. The result of this mode is madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Now, in this verse, there is a word used called tu. Tamaha tu ajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehina. This mode of ignorance is a very peculiar qualification of the embodied soul, of the souls who have got a material body. It is just the opposite of the mode of goodness. In mode of goodness, by development of knowledge, a person can understand what is what properly. But the mode of ignorance is just the opposite. Everyone under the spell of mode of ignorance becomes mad. And a madman cannot understand what is what. So instead of advancing in life under the mode of ignorance, one becomes more and more degraded, goes from darkness to more darkness. So therefore, the definition of the mode of ignorance is described in the Vedic literature. By the influence of the mode of ignorance, tamoguna, one cannot understand a thing as it is. Prabhupada gives a nice example. Now everyone can see my grandfather has died. I will die. My children at a certain age, they will die. Nobody can live forever in this material world. So death is sure. But still people are accumulating money, working very hard day and night, not caring for the eternal spirit. As if they accumulate sufficient money for living thousands of years, they can enjoy life very nicely for thousands of years. They forget the fact that our duration of life is limited, and that also in the years to come, it is not that till death comes we can enjoy very peacefully. No. There are so many uncertainties, there are so many ups and downs, there are so many difficulties, dangers, miseries, so many things. So all that they forget completely, almost completely. And this is described in the scriptures of forgetting the reality is madness. So in their madness, they are very reluctant to take up spiritual life, spiritual understanding, spiritual knowledge. And such people are generally nidra alasya pramada. Pramada is madness, nidra is sleep, and alasya is laziness. So people in the mode of ignorance, they are lazy. When they are invited to associate for spiritual understanding, they are not at all interested. And they like to sleep very much. Generally, if a person sleeps 6 hours in a cycle of 24 hours, that is enough. But a person in the mode of ignorance particularly sleeps at least 10 to 12 hours. And also such people are generally very much dejected. They are addicted to intoxication. They are addicted to sleep. They are always lazy. And they are always working in the wrong direction because they are always degrading themselves because of misconceiving everything. Everything is opposite for a person in the mode of ignorance. Further, it will be described. A lot of symptoms of these modes will be described. So I'll stop here and I'll take some questions. First question, kindly explain the sentence stating, for the devotees getting fully ready to return home back to Krishna Loka. So what does it mean getting fully ready to return home back to Godhead or back to Krishna Loka? Now, we should always remember we belong to Krishna Loka, but right now we are having a certain disqualification. In our original pure state, we simply are meant to live with Krishna in his association by rendering loving service. Krishna reciprocates and we are happy in all respects. But our present condition we have to consider. What is that? We are contaminated. What is the contamination? It is this material desires, material attachments, material reactions, material possessions, material plans, and like that. So many things are there in our heart. So if any tinge of material desire, any plan is there, any material reaction is pending at the time of death, or any material possessions we are attached to, then we cannot go back to Godhead. We have to take birth again in this material world. So therefore, getting fully ready means completely purified in the heart, completely purified of all material desires. That's why in the Shastra sometimes it is said, become desireless. But that doesn't mean, desireless means, does it mean that no desire, no activity, no life? No, that is not the understanding. That's a misunderstanding. Desireless means no material desires, but as living beings, we are always having desires. So we have to give up material desires, and that is possible by developing spiritual desires. In Krishna consciousness, we do cultivate spiritual desires. I want to chant Hare Krishna. I want to take only Krishna Prasadam. I want to hear glories of Krishna. I want to bow down to Krishna out of respect for Krishna. I want to worship Krishna. I want to associate with devotees of Krishna. I want to go back to home, back to Godhead, to Krishna Loka at the end of this life. These are all desires. But these desires are favorable and they are spiritual desires. So we cannot become void, zero. We cannot become zero. But we can give up material desires by developing spiritual desires, by cultivating spiritual desires. Instead of material attachment, we should develop spiritual attachment. Attachment for Krishna, attachment for bona fide spiritual master, attachment for Shastras, attachment for pure devotees. This is what you have to develop. then automatically all other material attachments will go away. Just like as soon as there's light, darkness is gone. Darkness is immediately dispelled. Similarly, when you develop spiritual desires, all material desires are gone. Gone, completely gone. No material desires can remain when there are spiritual desires. But the spiritual desires have to be very, very strong. Not shaken by material allurements, by material association, not shaken. So that is important. Next question. By seeing all as undivided in the divided is in mode of goodness. When seeing different types of living entity dwelling in different bodies is in mode of passion. But we are divided. How can we distinguish between a cow and a tiger? Yeah, obviously dealing with a cow is very safe. It's a very docile animal. It's very, very peaceful. A tiger is dangerous and tiger can immediately attack and devour us. So there are differences. But seeing the living entity within is the same quality of spirit soul doesn't mean that there are no external differences, there are no bodily differences, there are no character or behavior differences while in the body. That you cannot expect. So the one undivided, individed, the division is based on the body. The body is based on the desire to enjoy. The body is based on the karma. Each person has his or her own individual karma. Every living being has karma in the past. So there is difference in body, there is difference in characteristics, material characteristics, the difference in material behavior, there is difference in material desires. This is reality, we have to accept it. But within the body, there is the pure spirit. That pure spirit, individual pure spirit, is untouched by matter, untouched by any material desires. So, the distinction between the different living beings is due to the body, due to karma, due to attachment, due to desire to enjoy in different ways. That we have to recognize also. So for now, it is enough if we try to associate with devotees and don't come in the way of the spiritual progress of other living beings. Just like don't kill an animal or a bird or an insect, don't kill, because they are making progress. Every living being in this material world is progressing through different stages of advancement or evolution towards the ultimate goal of going to our original position of our relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world. So everyone is progressing gradually. So human form of life is a certain stage of progress we have made from lower life forms. But we have to go further. So the highest development of our consciousness or our advancement is to become Krishna conscious, is to become fully purified of all material contamination and awaken our original natural Krishna consciousness. Next question. Why does Arjuna consider calling Krishna his friend unknowingly a dishonor, as this love would be without awe and reverence and considered devotees pure love? Now Arjuna is thinking he has dishonored Krishna when he is bewildered by seeing the universal form, and his relationship with Krishna is that of wonder. So in that relationship of wonder, when he is completely bewildered by seeing the universal form, he is considering, I did not know my Lord Krishna is so great. He has so much opulences. He is supremely powerful. So such a great personality, I have treated him as my friend, equal level. I have certainly done so much mistake, so many wrongs I have done. So he is begging Krishna, pardon me, forgive me. This is in the state of that bewilderment. Because after Krishna again withdraws his universal form and shows Arjuna his original two-handed form, then Arjuna says, now I have returned to my original consciousness. So he becomes pacified. He's no longer fearful of Krishna. So everybody has that natural state of relationship with Krishna in love, where there is no question of bewilderment, there is no question of fear, there is no question of any material influence or material characteristics or material attachments, none of those. So we are meant to elevate ourselves gradually through Krishna consciousness to come to that platform, which Arjuna is always situated. But just because Arjuna desired to see the universal form, Krishna showed it, and that's a ghastly form. That's a fact. It's a ghastly form. No devotee actually likes to see the universal form. It is meant for some neophytes who think only God can be, if God is there, that God is somebody who is very, very big, great, powerful, like that. So for them, the universal form is described and is also the object of meditation for neophytes like that, who think only in terms of something very, very big or great as God in this world. Kindly explain what is meant by Krishna's universal form is material and temporary. How can Krishna's form be material? That's the question. Krishna's form we know is always spiritual. Now, the universal form is actually an imaginary form. That means, even though it's real and temporary, still, we think it is Krishna's form. Krishna's actual form is spiritual. Krishna's form is spiritual. Now, what is the basis of this universal form being considered as one of Krishna's forms? Because the universe in a seed-like form is generated by Mahavishnu at the beginning of creation. Into that seed-like, tiny, very, very tiny seed-like universe, the Supreme Lord Mahavishnu expands as Garbhodakshayi Vishnu and enters into that tiny seed-like universe. And then after he enters, only then the universe begins to develop and grow. Then still the universe is an empty shell after it has become big, after entrance of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. Then Garbhodakshayi Vishnu fills half the universal shell with his perspiration and lies down on that ocean called Garbha ocean. And from his navel one lotus flower is born. And on the top of the lotus, Brahma is born from Vishnu, from Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. And then Brahma is enlightened. Brahma is given the knowledge, the skill, the ingredients, everything Brahma is provided. And then Brahma has to do secondary creation. So, because after Krishna enters the universe develops, and Krishna is in the heart of this center of the entire universe, Krishna is there as Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. So we may consider, just like I am in this body, I am not the body, but I am in this body. So because of my presence, only body is working. As soon as the soul leaves, will the body continue to work? No. So Similarly, after Krishna has entered as Garbhodakshai Vishnu into the universe develops and universe is maintained only as long as Vishnu is there in that universal center of the universe. So therefore, we may consider the form of the universe as the form of the Lord, a material form of the Lord. Just like this body may be considered my material form. Actually, it is not my form. I don't have a material form. I have nothing to do with this material form. But the fact is, this material form will remain only as long as I am in this body. That's a fact. Similarly, this whole universe remains in existence and will keep working only as long as the Supreme Lord is in the center as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. As soon as he leaves, the whole universe is finished. At the end of Brahma's day, not end of Brahma's day, end of Brahma's life, everything is finished. Everything is completely destroyed. So that is because the Lord as Vishnu leaves, finished, everything is finished. Otherwise, as long as he is there, he sustains life, all the lives. He provides, he maintains everything he does. So we may consider, because of his presence, only this whole universe is working. So we may consider this universe as one of the material forms of the Lord. In that way. So it's temporary because it's manifest and unmanifest. But it is real. It is real. It is not an imaginary form. It is a real form. But we wrongly think it is a form of Krishna. That is our mistake. It is a form. It is temporarily manifest. It is real, but it is not Krishna's spiritual form. It is just that Krishna has entered into it for our sake. Krishna has entered into it to give us a chance to try to enjoy, to try to be the Lord, and to try to possess something material, etc., etc. That's why Krishna does this creation, maintenance, creation and maintenance Krishna does for that purpose. But it is always for a limited duration of time, and after that everything is destroyed in this material world. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.